and welcome to Fresh Dialogue. I'm Alison Van Diggelen, talking to you from Silicon Valley, California. Fresh Dialogues is an interview series with a green focus. Each week I interview business leaders and celebrities.
It is a great privilege for me to call Reid a colleague, a friend, and a true Silicon Valley visionary. Reid?
One of the problems of listening to an intro about yourself is you kind of tend to want to run and hide. Thank you. And so I am honored and humbled. This is obviously a common theme from what we are saying up here, but it is an enormous privilege to be at this center fulcrum of how we change the world that we call Silicon Valley. And one of the things that I thought that would be worth kind of taking the time on a few remarks is, we all have collectively engaged in this thing that is simply world-changing. And it's kind of to think a little bit about what more we should do with that. And obviously, part of it is continuing to build amazing technology companies that change, everything from establishing human ecosystems to products that transform how people live and work. But I think we should also think about it on two other vectors. And so I thought that the right thing in kind of accepting a visionary award, although I never really think of myself as a visionary, fortunately, always, the luck award I think is a very good idea. Given that when you're investing and when you're doing and the fact that we can do things at scale here. The first would be, we have obviously had a time of some economic crisis, and there's this whole question of stimulus and how we kind of get the world economy back on track. And I actually think entrepreneurship, one of the things that's really great and fantastic about it is how we adapt to the world. Every institution started with some kind of vision and entrepreneurship. And the fact that we live in a world which is increasingly flat and increasingly accelerating, and when you have challenges like, for example, economic turbulence and uncertainty, entrepreneurship is a really good pattern, and we do that quite well here. Actually, I think it's one of the things that we can not just export products, but it's also a good thing to try to figure out how to take the way that we work and the way that we operate and make that more available globally, because I think it helps make the globe a better place. And so, if any of you are ever lobbying Washington or other kinds of things in terms of what a stimulus package should look like, because one of the, of course, odd oxymorons is there is no entrepreneurs lobby, right? They're all off doing things, is to say, look, let's focus more on how we build entrepreneurs and how we build entrepreneurial cultures. Because, I was recently in Istanbul doing an international selection panel for Endeavor, which does select high-impact entrepreneurs in emerging market countries and tries to help build entrepreneurial companies that will create an entrepreneurial culture for the country, affect the GDP, and create massive amounts of employment, which obviously leads to prosperity. I was during the panel, I was thinking, we should start doing this in certain parts of the U.S. And this is obviously a Silicon Valley bias, but Detroit seems like a good place that we could do a similar kind of program. So that's kind of one, which is how do we treat entrepreneurship and the pattern by which we have evolved a very good way of operating in terms of various overlapping networks, an ability to innovate, an ability to take risk, an ability to recover from risk and move forward. And how do we help get that out? Because I think that's not just them coming here and asking us, but how do we help spread that? The second part is, I think, also a part of how we change the world. And it's one of the reasons why I got involved with Kiva and Endeavor and also Mozilla, is the kind of question of, can we take the models, because we innovate not just in technology here, we innovate on kind of the process of how kind of a financing to delivery, how companies operate, business models, All of these things are part of building massive entrepreneurial companies. Can we help apply that in sectors that aren't just for-profit companies? And so, Kiva is trying to do eBay for microfinance and to try to enable a taxi cab driver to get a cab, right, and start a business that way. Endeavor does high-impact entrepreneurship, which is people who will build massive companies. But can we actually, in fact, begin to think of these kind of as hybrid models? So one of the reasons why I thought that joining the Endeavor board recently would be really essential is because the hybrid models become self-sustaining nonprofits, where the economic model funds its own growth and helps spread the cause in terms of what we want to create. And so, in as much as, like I said, I don't really think of myself as a visionary. I think of myself as someone who loves to play at the heart of what we do in Silicon Valley, which is to take risks, to develop technologies and use finance and entrepreneurship in order to create a lever by which we move the world. And I hope that in the future, not only do we continue to do that, and I think folks here do that pretty well, but we also apply it to things that are in a broader field, such as, for example, how do we change the world? So thank you very much for this honor, and I look forward to us getting back to work.
Some of you may have heard that our last introducer is actually here virtually.
Check out freshdialogues.com for interviews with Paul Krugman, Martin Sheen, Tom Friedman, and many others.